So let's take a look at how call management works. To better understand how call management works, we must understand the task table. In the task table, we have non-distance sensitive tasks, which would include standard contact customer technical, contact customer IMAC, remote assistance, parts order, and parts delivery monitor. These non-distance sensitive tasks are performed by the service support desk. As you will recall, a non-distance sensitive tasks are tasks that do not require a geographic evaluation of our service delivery resources for assignment. Next, we have our distance sensitive tasks: travel to site, parts pickup, asset verification, and resolve. These distance sensitive tasks are performed by a field technical resource. The distance sensitive tasks, as you will remember, do require a systematic geographic evaluation to be performed so that we can compare the service location and the location of our closest and most available field technician resource to be assigned the task. And then finally, the exceptions table: open to assign, assigned to start task to task completion, and asset mismatch. These exceptions are also non-distance sensitive tasks, and they are also handled by the service support desk. So let's take a look at the service support desk responsibilities in call management. Items the service support desk is responsible for completing for every service ticket. They will validate the ticket information, i.e. the contact customer info, the address, the asset information, the SLA associated with the ticket, and any special handling instructions that are associated with the delivery of the services required. They will also make the first contact to the customer after the ticket has been opened. While speaking with the customer, they'll validate the ticket info, attempt to resolve the problem over the phone, predict parts that may be needed for the call, verify if an escort for on-site purposes is needed, verify if any approvals are required or needed, establish and manage an ETA with the customer, manage any customer unavailable situations, and identify if parts orders are required. They'll also be responsible for ordering the part and monitoring the delivery of the part to ensure that it is either en route or at the service location prior to releasing a task for a technician to go on site. They're also going to be responsible for monitoring and managing the exceptions that could occur throughout the life cycle of the call. And they're going to be responsible for monitoring and managing the daily backlog, which includes prioritizing services through allocation of resources. These are the responsibilities of the service support desk within call management. Now let's take a look at the field technician responsibilities in call management. These are items that the field technician is responsible to complete for every service ticket. Picking up parts. Verifying the asset on site matches what is in the ticket. Delivering the service and resolving the ticket. Coordinating and managing second site visits, ETAs, and deferments with the customer while the task is in hand. Identifying if additional parts are required and communicating what is needed, when and where it needs to be shipped to, back to the service support desk. They'll also be responsible for allocating parts from local stock if needed, and fulfilling parts activities, which includes showing usage and shipping parts back. So let's put this kind of together. We talked a little bit about the terms, we reviewed the task table, we talked a little bit about what call management is and the different responsibilities of the service support desk and the field technicians. Let's walk you through a perfect scenario where parts are associated. So the call has been opened and it'll go through the filter, the profiler, and then the scheduler, and we'll have a contact customer activity assigned to the service support desk. When a contact customer task is assigned to the service support desk, the specialist who receives the task will go on task. When they go on task, this will start tracking the time that they spend performing this specific task. Once they've completed the task, the time on task, the ETA, and additional information related to the service ticket will be recorded in both call management and the STIA databases. Once the contact customer task is completed, a new task will open and within 3 minutes be assigned to a new service support specialist. In this case, we said that there were parts needed, therefore the next task the service support desk would get would be a parts order task. The service support desk specialist would receive a parts order task. They would go on task. This would start tracking their time for ordering the part. Once they've completed the parts order task, the time on task and the parts orders are recorded in call management and the ASTIA databases. Once this task has been completed, a new task of parts monitoring will be opened and will be assigned within 3 minutes to a service support specialist. The parts monitor task will be assigned and the service support specialist will go on task, and then when they complete this task, the time on task and parts waybill information is recorded in the call management and ASTIA database. The next step that will take place is now that the service support desk has contacted the customer, has ordered the parts, and are actively monitoring and tracking the delivery of parts. Once those parts have been confirmed to be either en route or at the customer location, the system will then look to assign a technician. So the system scheduler process starts to run. Once the system scheduler process has been completed, it will then assign an appropriate technician. So there we see that the system has chosen the closest and available and best resource to be assigned to a distance-sensitive task, in this case, the field technician. So the field technician will receive a page for the task to pick up the part. As soon as the technician receives the task to pick up the part, they're going to go on task, and this is going to start again tracking their mileage and their time on task for working this specific task. Once they've completed the parts pickup task, the time on task and the mileage is recorded into the call management and ASTIA database, and parts are automatically allocated to the service ticket. So once the technician has completed the parts pickup task, a new task will be opened and it will be assigned to the technician for a travel to site. Once the technician receives the page that he or she has the task to travel to site, they will go on task, and then once they complete their task, the time on task, the mileage, and the on-site service start time is recorded in the call management and the ASTIA database. Once the technician is on site and has completed this task, a new task will open for asset verification, and it will be assigned via the scheduler to the field technician that's on site. So the technician will receive a page stating that they have the asset verification task. They'll go on task, and then once they complete the task, the time on task is recorded in the call management database, and the business rule for asset verification is satisfied. You'll remember the business rule is that no call can be completed if it has site item or a blank in the product or serial number fields. So once the technician has completed the asset verification task, he or she will begin to deliver the service. At which point they'll also receive a new task called the resolve task. Once they receive the resolve task, they will need to go on task, and this will start tracking their time on task for delivering the services. Once they've completed the resolve task, the time on task is recorded in call management in the database. Completion time is recorded in the service activity. The service activity is dispositioned with the status of resolve. The resolve flag in the service ticket is changed to yes. The resolve date and time, problem code, cause code, and repair code and resolution text is entered into the system. So as you can see through walking through this process, that it's quite different from how we deliver services today. And in fact, it's even more so important now that as soon as the technician gets that task, they must go on task. And when they complete that task, they must complete it through the phone. If they do not complete their task, they will never receive the next task in the sequence to deliver the service. quite different from how we do things today, and it provides with it a lot of benefits as well.